In life, there's a paradox that's hard to ignore. The kinder you are, the worse people tend to treat you. You hold the door open, and there's no thank you. You help a friend, and suddenly they expect it every time. You go out of your way to be nice, but somehow you become invisible. Your kindness, instead of being appreciated, starts to look like weakness. So why does this happen? The issue isn't that you're too kind, it's that you haven't learned how to command respect while still being kind. Stoic philosophy will help you understand why this happens and how to fix it. Let's begin. 1. Kindness must be intentional, not automatic. We've all been there. You hold the door for someone, you help a friend, and you offer your time or energy without hesitation. But sometimes the more you give, the more people expect from you. Kindness should be intentional, not automatic. It's easy to fall into the trap of saying yes to everything because we don't want to disappoint others or seem rude. But here's the thing. When kindness becomes automatic, it starts losing its value. People begin to take it for granted, and suddenly your efforts are expected rather than appreciated. Marcus Aurelius understood that true generosity comes from a place of choice, not obligation. He didn't just give because it was expected, he gave because it was the right thing to do when it aligned with his values. So before you offer your kindness, ask yourself, am I doing this because I genuinely want to, or am I just afraid to say no? When kindness becomes a reflex, you lose control over it. But when you choose to give with intention, it remains powerful. It shows that you value your time and energy, and you're giving them because you genuinely care, not because you feel you must. True kindness comes with boundaries. When you learn to say no when needed, you allow your kindness to have meaning, and you begin to command the respect that others sometimes fail to see. 2. Say no without explaining yourself. One of the hardest things to do is say no, especially when you want to help, but deep down, you know it's not in your best interest. The Stoics believe that true strength lies in the ability to say no without guilt or the need for lengthy explanations. Think about it. When you're constantly available, constantly saying yes, people start to take you for granted. You become so accessible that you lose your value, your presence becomes less meaningful, and people start expecting things from you without hesitation. Seneca wisely said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." If you're always available, you spread yourself thin and your contributions become less impactful. It's important to understand that saying no isn't about being rude or selfish. It's about recognizing your limits and protecting your time and energy. You don't have to justify every decision you make. Simply saying, "I can't do that," is enough. By practicing saying no without explanation or excuse, you command respect. You show that you value yourself and your time, and you teach others that your energy isn't something to be taken for granted. It's not about closing yourself off from the world. It's about choosing where and when to show up with intention. True respect comes when people know they can't take you for granted. 3. Reward appreciation, not entitlement. When you're kind to others, it should come from a place of genuine care, not from a desire for recognition or praise. But here's where many people get it wrong. Kindness shouldn't be given because it's expected. It should be a choice. When people start to take your kindness for granted, they stop appreciating it. They begin to expect it as if it's something owed to them. That's when it's time to step back and assess how you're offering your kindness. True respect is earned, not demanded. When someone truly values what you do for them, they express appreciation, and that's when your kindness shines. But if they treat your efforts as a given, it's time to reconsider. Withdraw your kindness if it's being taken for granted. It's not about punishing someone. It's about teaching them the value of your time and energy. The Stoics believed in creating balance in relationships. When you give, it should be because you want to, not because it's a requirement or because you're being taken advantage of. The next time you offer help or kindness, pay attention. Are they appreciating it or just expecting it? If it's the latter, it's time to shift your approach. True respect comes when people know they can't take you for granted. By rewarding appreciation and not entitlement, you'll find that your kindness not only has more meaning, but it also commands the respect it deserves. 4. Command presence, not approval. In life, we often seek approval from others, whether it's in our relationships, at work, or even in social situations. We want to be liked, admired, and appreciated. But here's the Stoic twist. True strength doesn't come from seeking approval, it comes from commanding presence. When you stop trying to win people over or seek their validation, you start to attract respect. Not because you want it, but because you've stopped chasing it. Think about it. When you're constantly trying to gain approval, you lose your authenticity. People can sense when you're desperate for their validation, and it undermines your worth. But when you stand firm in who you are and stop seeking external approval, you naturally exude confidence and presence. This isn't about being arrogant or indifferent to others. It's about being rooted in your own values and acting with integrity, regardless of who's watching. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, understood this principle well. They didn't seek praise. They sought respect by living according to their values, no matter the situation. When you stop performing for others, you allow yourself to be real, and that authenticity commands respect. So next time you find yourself seeking validation, pause and ask, am I acting out of true conviction, or am I just trying to get approval? True strength comes from within. In the moment you stop seeking approval is when people start respecting you for who you truly are. Stoic philosophy not only helps us understand how to protect ourselves in relationships, but also teaches us how to maintain our values without losing our kindness. When you learn to set boundaries, command respect, and act from a place of strength, you'll find that respect naturally follows. Remember, kindness doesn't mean self-sacrifice. It means knowing when to say no and protecting yourself. If you found this lesson valuable, be sure to subscribe to the Stoic Beacon YouTube channel to continue exploring deep Stoic insights that help you live a meaningful and respectful life.